Okay. So this towel blanket underneath you is not really about catching loose oil. It's about creating a pelvic nest. So I'm going to talk you through this. Some of you already know this pelvic nest setup, and if you do, just go ahead and get in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down on the blanket, just past. Let me scoot down so you can see me. With my shoulders just past the edge of it here. It should be about this big. And then I'm gonna take my hands to my low belly with my fingers on my pubic bone. You might just watch for a second so that you can see if your camera is not in a place where you can, the setup's quick. And I'm going to rock my pelvis anterior and posterior a few times. And in this diamond shape between my hands, I want to imagine I've got a little marble. And I'm going to rock into a position where I feel the marble rolling towards my fingertips, towards the pubic bone. And that's an anterior position of the pelvis. And it's in this position that we want to kind of support our bodies for this abdominal massage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up this towel or blanket and tuck it in around and stuff it down in to that space so that it takes up that slack. So I pulled down the towel from underneath my shoulders and stuff it down into that lumbar space, and I tuck it in my pelvis from the sides and from the bottom, and I make this nice, yummy little nest. Oh, and then I can relax, and I have my pelvis in a neutral, anteriorly positioned neutral pelvis, and it's held there relaxably. And from there, I can extend my legs or keep my knees bent. It's up to you. But this is going to support your organs having spaciousness. And we're going to be working with some myofascial release, and we want to have some slack in some of these across the front hip flexors. At that point, when you extend your legs, if you feel a tug in your low back, you can take a pillow and put it underneath your knees. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, cool. Yep. And so I'm going to pin myself so that you can feel relaxed about the recording not having your body in it. I like to take my shirt up a little bit and scoot my pants down a little bit so that I can feel for and reach my bony structures. So with your hands, take your fingertips down and find your pubic bone. And let the palms of your hands sort of rest on your iliac, ASIS, so the front hip points of your iliac bones, your pelvis bones. Your hands in that diamond position, thumbs can touch. And then just take your loving presence and your loving awareness into your body here and just be with your uterine capacity and being with your ovaries and the energies of those organs if you don't have them anymore. The energetics are still there. And when you breathe, breathe down into your hands. And then remember that activation of the legs that we did. And feel these tap roots descending from the bottoms of your feet, and maybe even one from the back of your pelvis down into the earth. And along these tap roots travels energetics that you release from your body, and also sort of like a straw drinking in the frequency of the earth. And just feeling your belly moving and your body moving, and the inner warrior in you resting. And when she rests, and finds some peace inside, this softness and suppleness in the pelvis can be remembered and accessed. And that's what we want. We want the tissues to be supple and soft and responsive and living. And this practice will be about reconnecting energetically, about releasing tension and fascial restriction, about breaking up scar tissue, about breaking up stagnation, and about just tending. And before we begin, inviting you to set an intention. And I'm going to put a little bit of essential oil in my hands and rub my hands together with this intention, sort of infusing into my hands. For me, it's laying some swords down. I got a real strong inner warrior. She knows how to fight. She's not that great at releasing and receiving and resting. So I'm holding that intention in my hands. Some of you might be holding intentions of leaning into your warrior's strength. But can we do that and still stay soft in our animal bodies? This is what the practice is about. And then bringing your hands back to your belly. If at any point the work we do just, stops serving you or becomes too much, you can just come back to this point of rest and presencing. We're going to start with 3 myofascial releases. First one is for the bladder and uterus. So taking your fingertips to the mons, this big fleshy mound atop of your pubic symphysis, and then walking towards the top edge of your pubis, right where your pubic bone descends into the soft flesh of your belly. And you're going to slip your hands down that wall into the soft flesh of your low belly, just above your uterus and bladder. And you're just going to come to the first edge, the first boundary. You're not going to press super deep. You're just sinking your hands into that first layer, and just pause and be present there. I'm just listening to the interwoven mycelial network of fascia, where the crystalline water and lymph fluids flow where your ancestral memory lies. Where your body's deepest held tensions lie. Is staying present and breathing and just noticing that slow tension over time creates change. And you might be sensing that already. That your body receives this input with every breath a little bit more deeply. We're not really pressing hard with the hands. Good. And then from there, your fingers have kind of sunk down into your soft tissues. And from that depth, you're going to traction your fascial system. You're going to scooping underneath your uterus and energetically, even physically, scooping underneath, dragging upward towards your navel. You're not letting your hands slide on your skin. You're staying in the same place. You're just giving a little bit of traction till you feel a gentle pull. And this gentle pull should be definitely something you can breathe into easily. And where that pull point is originating, I want you to take your loving awareness and soften. I like to use the analogy when we do myofascial releases of like a hammock that's been sitting in the sun and it's strung between two trees a little too tightly. And that's sort of the way the tension can be before we begin. And then when you sit in the hammock, the fabric and the metal even goes under tension. And so when you do this myofascial release where we are, you feel more pressure, more tension than before. But after time, the fabric begins to stretch out, the metal softens. And then eventually when you get up, the hammock is at a nice, relaxed, gentle tone. And that's what we're going to go for in this imagery, imagining the tone around your uterine organ or the uterus space, all the ligaments and fascia that hold that sacred cavity, having a reset in the tonality, presencing with your breath and your deep awareness. Listening to your uterus and the space of your uterus, your womb space communication. How is she doing? Is there messages here for you? Maybe you can apply a little bit more pressure down, or maybe a little bit more pressure towards the navel. Breathing into the back of the heart, all the way down into the sitting bones, all the way down the legs, into the arches. Go ahead, take one more deep breath here. And exhale. And then with a little gentle jiggle, you're going to slowly release the pressure and remove your hands. Lay the arms down, not on either side of you, and just breathe into that stretch, into the space you created. If your knees were bent, maybe they can lengthen out. Noticing any corresponding relaxed sensation or release up in the throat or jaw. Good. Take a deep breath here. Exhaling, bringing the knees back into a bent position. If that feels good, you can keep them straight too. Good. And we're going to work on myofascial releasing the ovaries as well. So we'll start with the hands back at the pubic bone and then walk them to the left along the ridge of that bony structure into the pocket. There's like a little corner pocket before you hit your the iliacus, the bony inner pelvic bone. Your ovary is right in that little pocket. So you want to not be on the bone. You want to be in that soft, fleshy pocket. And you kind of negotiate your fingers there, and then let your hands just gently sink down to that first barrier, that first boundary on the left. And you should be able to relax your arms for the most part. Use as little effort as possible. There's all kinds of fascial webbing here, as well as some deep kind of inguinal ligaments really close to the psoas and the iliacus. So there's a lot of content, not just ovary energy that we're encountering here, but making contact with your ovary energy is your first priority, and just noticing the left ovary energy of the feminine side of your body. What does she have to say? And gently starting to draw from that sunk, rested place deep in that pocket, lifting and drawing towards the navel diagonally. Again, the hands aren't sliding, they're just staying anchored, and you're pulling from deep below. You don't have to pull super hard. Relax your traps in your shoulders and your neck. Just being with your body and the messages your body's giving you. You might be seeing colors or shapes or images. You might hear things. You might feel things or know things. There's so many ways that our deep feminine speaks to us. Mm. We talked about discovering our intuition at a certain point. Megan spoke to this. When we recognize our bodies and the way that our bodies spoke to us. You might remember when you first realized that power you had. And I think, it's just my personal opinion, that the earliest trespass experiences of that power was when our inner warrior was born. So we're creating space for those stories to live and be felt. And for the tensions that we carry around them to be released. And take another deep breath here. And a little jiggle as you exhale. Begin to let go of that tension. We'll release your arms and your legs. Oh, and feeling the energy of your ovary all the way down your leg and out your foot. Imagine that you've got a faucet in the bottom of your foot and you're just going to drain all the way from the depths of the pelvis, from the cavities behind your heart and kidneys, from the space behind your voice box that's got things locked up, from behind your ear and jaw and your eye, and all the ways that you've shielded yourself from seeing and speaking and hearing the truth, letting all that drain out of your body. And you can really feel the difference probably between the left and the right side now. You might be having this experience on the right of longing. Like, please release me. Okay, so let's do it. They might bend the knees again. Reconnect with your pubic bone. And walking the hands over to the right, to that little corner pocket. Just inside the bones. And then when you've nestled in, gently Let your hands sink. Just sinking into that first boundary. Saying hello to the masculine side of your body and sensing this potential power. Just breathing into any static. A lot of unprocessed rage here. Touching it gently. And then beginning to traction up towards the navel. And just noticing the quality of the tension. What is going on for your right ovary, for the right side of your pelvis, the right quadrant? What's happening in this tension? Pouring your loving presence into your hands, into your body. It's not separate. It is you. It is you. You are it. This is you. These are your body parts. You're not your head touching a pelvis. This is your body being witnessed and held whole and sovereign and safe. It's safe to be here. You have everything you need to hold this. We needn't be in fear. You feel these waves rise up. Just keep breathing. Feel the steadiness of gravity of the earth pulsing up your grounding cord into the back of the pelvis. It's safe to thrive. It's safe to feel. It's safe to be sensual. You're allowed to have pleasure. And you're allowed to keep some in the tank for yourself. Good. One or two more big full breaths. Relax your jaw and your shoulders and your throat. One more. And jiggling. And releasing. Maybe rolling out your wrists and fingers and extending your legs. And then laying your arms down. In the container of this time together, letting yourself surrender, just letting it go. Letting the fight go. We have to balance all of that fire. Just finds the pulsing, watery, like soothing nature of breath in the pelvis and the surrender of the tissues to gravity. Just that imprint of the surrendering of your tissues to gravity. Just for now. And big breath, maybe reaching your arms overhead and stretching long. Then reaching for your oil. Got this yummy belly, this yummy soft belly that you're just gonna reward yourself with some loving, gentle touch. Just enough oil on your hands to make your hands slippery, make your belly slippery. And then the landmarks that we're working with along the bottom, we've already become familiar with the pubic bone. Up to the right, we've got the inner crest of the right side of your pelvis. And then further up the right, you've got the under curve of your rib canister. And at the very top, you've got the bottom of your sternum, this little pocket where your ribs meet. And then over to the left, you have this undercarriage curvature of your rib canister on the left. A little bit of space before you get down to the left side of your pelvis. And then back to the center of your low belly and low pelvis. In the center of all of that, you've got your belly button. if you're working with essential oils today, you might put a little bit of a drop right in your belly button. This belly button of ours is a magical little place. It's our first cellular development of ingestion came here and is still imprinted. So we can really energetically, we spiral out from here. The chakras all spiral out from here. This is the Dantian and all of the sacred traditions of body, mind, soul connection. Everything has to do with the navel being the center, energetic origination point. And so we'll start here with just some gentle circles around your navel. Loving touch being poured into your origination point of receiving nurturing and nutrients from your mother. Feeling that umbilical cord passing down back through your belly, down into the earth, through that grounding cord out of the back of your pelvis. You're still connected to your mother. Making clockwise circles in your belly, starting to spin out a little bit bigger circles, just at a gentle depth. You're just saying hello. There might be a lot of tension in the belly. And because we have this big, soft, exposed place where all these very vital organs live with no bony structure in place to support us, we often hold tension here. And also because we have a culture that thinks we should suck in our bellies all the time, we also have a lot of tension here from poor posture and pressure management. So settling some of that tension just with this gentle circular clockwise touch. Feeling so much love pouring back into your body, out of your hands, into your beautiful belly. And feeling soft and surrendered and your heart inching open, just 1 millimeter at a time, inching open to this self-loving touch. Feeling all the feelings that come. When we revisit these off limits places. Notice that, or if you stopped breathing and come back to some deep, slow, easy breath into your belly space. It's like your breath initiates in your belly, and then you take another layer of breath and it pulses into your wings, into the back of your body. And then you take a big exhale. Good. And then scoop from the sides towards your navel, like you're gathering up a pile, and then pull, pull, pull any congestion, stagnation, anger, rage, distrust, fear, anger, things that don't belong. Pull it right out of that navel space and throw it out of your space, out of your body. Flick your hands. Lay your arms down on either side of you and just take a couple of breaths and notice your tap roots down your legs are activated, your portals and the soles of your feet are open. Is there another gathering up of stagnation that you want to do, or do you feel complete? We have more belly massage coming, but that might have not gotten it all. Let's just assume that it didn't. It won't hurt to do another sweep. So hands back onto the belly. Slow and steady, starting out at the edges, circling in a clockwise direction. I'm starting to feel sort of cramping happening deep in there. Oh, it feels a little bit intense, actually. I'm just gonna breathe. Oh, bunch of grief here for me. Oh, so you're on mute, you can just move your breath and move your energy and keen and wail if it needs to happen. Making your way towards the middle. Your fingertips might sink into your belly a little deeper this time. Ooh. Until you're circling the navel itself. Imagine that you're wrapping a rope around your fingers as you circle, and it's slowly pulling it out of your belly, out of the depths of your psyche and soul, out of the hidden timelines of your ancestry, just pulling that rope out of your body, winding it, pulling. It may not be today that you find the end, but you're going to pull what you can, pull it up away from your body, up, cords of descent and discord and pain. And then with one hand, hold on tight, and with the other hand, just cut at the skin, cut the cord, and then throw it. And then flick your hands. And some big breaths. Ooh. And it might feel really good to jiggle your hips. That's what it feels like my body wants to do. Release your head side to side, shake out your hands, stomp your knees, wiggle and flop your feet. Feel the energy leaving out the fingertips, out the toes, down the grounding cord, out of the back of the pelvis, out the grounding cords and the soles of the feet. And then regulate yourself with slow, gentle breathing. And feel a portal at the crown of your head open and this golden light come flooding into your body. And this golden light is from your kin ahead, reminding you that it's going to be okay, that the world is going to be okay, that women are going to be okay, that we can trust that divine support and design of this moment we're in. Let your body lean into that golden light and drink it in. And feel your angels and galactic supports and guides and ancestors and everything that we came from, the God, the goddess, the great spirit, shining golden light down through your top of your head, down through your shoulders and neck, swirling into your heart, down both arms. Big swirls into the belly and into the pelvis and all the space you've created, dancing golden light, wrapping all your nerves in a honey-like hug, pouring down through your legs, down through your feet. And returning your hands to your belly and just making small, gentle circles, just like you would on a baby, just like a mothering, gentling, calming, soothing circles on your belly. Feeling your body light and soft. And then when it's time, just letting your hands come to rest in that diamond shape. Connecting to your womb space once more and reminding your body that you're here, you're present, you're listening, you're online, and you're held by deeper energy, so much deeper than what your mind can comprehend. Help that inner warrior feel held so that she's wise with her cuts. And with a breath or two, more, telling your body that we'll be coming upright soon. And perhaps rolling over to one side and just pausing there for a few breaths. Ooh.